Well, I hope you all have had a wonderful new year. Mine was great, but really busy for many different reasons. But I finally got a chance to sit down and answer questions that $5 supporters asked in December. If you have questions for January, links are below. Let's start out on Patreon, where Darth Vega asks, Merry Christmas to you, Shane. I was wondering if we could talk about the whole UnitedHealth CEO assassination. Lots of people online are praising the shooter for what he did because they see these insurance companies as evil and greedy. They prioritize profits, and in the process they deny needed medical care, resulting in the deaths of tens of thousands. I'm curious your take on all this. Yeah, my take isn't long and it isn't complicated. It was murder. There was no justification for it whatsoever. He shot the guy in the back, just out of the blue. There's no way that doesn't completely violate the non-aggression principle. And especially when it comes out that Luigi Mangione wasn't a customer of United Healthcare and never had anything denied. That plus the fact that no one owes you anything. And the fact remains, like every other entity on the planet, if you don't make a profit, you don't exist for very long. Again, as I've made several videos about, the problems with healthcare in this country, about why it's so expensive, have nothing to do with insurance companies and everything to do with government. I mean, think about it. Wasn't Obamacare supposed to fix this? But no, it just made it worse, as I predicted at the time. And I really don't get how someone can say Mangione is a hero, but not Bernard Goetz. If anything, it's the other way around. Defending yourself and others makes you a hero. Wanton murder does not. Mangione wasn't defending anyone. No one is going to get any more health coverage because of him. Nothing is going to get any better. He had absolutely no justification whatsoever for what he did. Alright, let's go over to Subscribestar, where Dickin Myanus asks, Do you use gas or a charcoal grill? No, I don't. I pretty much do everything in the kitchen. Everything I ever really want to make, I can do in the oven or a broiler or something like that. And of course, barbecue can be nice when it's smoked, but that's not really the priority for me. Maybe it's my North Carolina roots, but the main thing about barbecue is that it should be cooked very slowly. Cooking it slowly in a smoker is great, but cooking it in the oven is fine too. And if I can just stick spare ribs in the oven at a low temperature for 3 hours and get nice and tender spare ribs, I'm fine with that. And finally, yes, just 3 questions this month. FunwithFacts asks, How do you think life originated? Do you think this process is replicable in AI? The problem with abiogenesis is not that we have no idea how it could have happened, but we have too many ideas. And when we look at chemistry, biology, geology, astrophysics, there's just too many ways for it to happen. RNA molecules are so easy to make with basic chemical processes. RNA can absolutely form under prebiotic conditions. And if you simulate an early Earth environment, you just kind of get RNA. You also get all of the amino acids for life, and going from simple molecules to organic compounds. And a lot has been made about where did this happen? Did it happen out in the atmosphere? Did it happen deep in the ocean in hydrothermal vents? Tide pool theory's got a shot in the arm recently. But the fact is, it could easily happen in any of these environments. And there's also a question of, did the genes start first or did the metabolism start first? This is not a chicken or egg thing, which sounds like a paradox, at least until you understand that chickens evolved from dinosaurs. The fact is, it could have happened either way. The RNA molecules could have come first, or you could start with the metabolism first, which they're really looking into with things like iron-sulfur minerals. You have an environment rich in iron and sulfur compounds. That could have acted as catalysts for more complex molecules. Do you have it in the oceans, as a lot of people thought? Well, there's some indication that you really can't get cellular membranes going in a saltwater environment, which is why a lot of freshwater environments like tide pools and things like that really seem to a lot of scientists like it might be more of a possibility. And it's not even a case where we need to see which one of these models is the right one. It might be a combination of those working together. You have RNA forming in hydrothermal vents, and then it ends up in tide pools to interact with other chemicals. It's also possible that there were many different abiogenesis events on Earth, but they were all outcompeted by whichever one of them won and led to life we have today. And getting to the second part of your question, I think to replicate it in AI, we'd have to know a lot more than we do, and maybe even have even more sophisticated AIs, but that could let us know a lot of things, like what are the different environments that it could come about in, including environments that aren't at all Earth-like. There have been papers published on how life could possibly form in pools of methane on cold worlds. They use Titan as an example, although Titan is too small. You need a larger world with bigger methane oceans. But the point is, when we go around looking for Earth-like objects, well, those might not be the only places where life could originate. And so if we get good AI simulations on this, they may be able to tell us what alien life forms might be, based on methane instead of water, or silicon instead of carbon. That's an old mainstay of science fiction. We just don't know, but the possibilities are endless. And my main thinking about this is just looking at it all from the standpoint of entropy. Nature wants to create entropy. And yes, I know I'm using the personification, but that's how we talk about it because we're using English. But nature really loves it when low entropy energy is converted into high entropy energy. Or they talk about energy going from a higher state to a lower state. They're talking about potential energy. You know, the ball at the top of the hill has potential energy. It rolls down the hill and turns it into kinetic energy and loses potential energy as it does so. The development of life might be as easy as rolling a ball down a hill. You need more complex chemistry for it, but think about it. If you have a rocky world around a star, how much entropy do you have being generated? Not much. You're heating up the rock and the rock's radiating out into space, and that creates some entropy. But as soon as you put life on the planet, even simple microbial life, that life is going to take energy from the sun or the planet's core or wherever, all this nice low entropy energy, and create all this high entropy energy from it. And if that's the case, what about multicellular life that's capable of reshaping the planet and taking it over and changing the entire chemistry of how the planet operates? Plants all over the land, fish all over the oceans, animal life everywhere. To make and maintain all these productive little critters, well, that creates a lot of entropy, doesn't it? And if that creates more entropy, what about intelligent life? This is where creationists and a lot of other people get it wrong. They act like we violate the second law of thermodynamics. We don't. We are engines for thermodynamics. We are really good at taking potential energy, low entropy energy, whether it's from the sun or from coal or from uranium or whatever. We take all these different forms of energy and we do stuff with them. When we make a city, when we make a communications network, when we travel all over the place doing the stuff we do and all the productive things we do, we look at that and say, yes, that's a reduction of entropy. But that's a localized reduction of entropy. And what that means is that the entropy of the rest of the universe is going to be increased by a greater amount. We are creating far more entropy than would be created if we were never here. And just like the ball rolling down the hill, that's going from a state of high energy, specifically high potential energy, to a low state of energy, converting useful energy, potential energy, low entropy energy into higher entropy energy put back out into the universe. And if you think about that, you understand that anywhere in the universe that it is possible for life or anything remotely resembling life to form, it will do so. And that's another reason why creationists are so dumb. Sorry about that last one. I just couldn't resist getting the crack in. Thank you so very much for watching. Comments for the comment god, shares for the share throne. Please hit like, subscribe, and the bell, and check out other videos on my channel and like and share them as well. And of course, go to donate.pagosity.tv for all sorts of ways to support, including PayPal, Venmo, cryptocurrency, or become a regular supporter at Patreon, Subscribestar, or Discord to get these videos early and ad-free and participate in live streams and AMAs like this one. Thanks again, and until next time, stay strong and be free.